They did as much as they could. I think the student union going forward needs to lobby the departments. Like the departments did learn a lot. I'm actually in the department of SES. So in engineering, I actually projects up to the Friday before the exam started. So for me, like semesterisation didn't really work out as well as probably they'd hoped. We, as a student union, need to go to the relevant colleges and say, you know, your college has projects that need to be done, and you need to start getting them like a minimum, or a late sign up. After this date, you can't hand up any more or any more projects. So we do need to work on that. It's something we need to build on. I know this year it was the first year, so we were kind of left in the dark, even coming up very close. But for first years, it's going to be a massive problem next year, in that they won't know the format of exams, and you're only giving them weeks study before the exams. Before, you used to have 3 or 4 weeks before the exams. You would get used to it, get to know the timetables. So we need to combat that, not just for first year, but across the board.
Yeah, the semesterisation was a massive change for the college, and there were huge teething problems with it. I think the SU dealt very well with it for the most part. I think the library was probably the biggest issue that everyone saw. Individually, in individual modules, the education officer did a huge amount of work in making timelines, making assignments more manageable. I think the SU job next year is to make sure that this year's mistakes aren't repeated again. It's alright for it to happen once, you can probably make the argument for it, but it's inexcusable for it to happen again. So at the moment, it's a semesterisation review group that's running until August, so they'll be reporting back. So if I'm elected president, I'll be working with the education officer to closely monitor that report and put the pressure on to make sure that any changes that need to be made and any mistakes that happened in the last year, that there is positive changes put in place to make sure that happens.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that. It will be next year we'll be getting judged more harshly on it, because this year it was the first time. So I think it did do well with obviously Joe with the library hours did well. I think that departments now should, with the review group, be able to know exactly what clashes will happen. So I think it will be the exact next year that we'll be able to get more harshly and deal with semesterisation this year's exactly.
I suppose kind of one of the more successful campaigns run by the SU this year was the library sit-in. Out of that, there has been, and there continues to be, a massive call for a 24-hour space. If elected, do you feel a 24-hour study space on campus is viable? And if so, how would you go about introducing it, or at least setting wheels in motion to have the process introduced? Aidan, if you want to go first.
Okay. So the first part of the question you asking, is it viable?
Yeah.
What I'd say is that traditionally in UCC, the library has dictated students' study patterns, whereas really, I think in a progressive modern university, students' study patterns should dictate the opening hours of the library. In order to, I suppose, kind of flip this around, we need to give students a chance to study wherever and whenever they want. So I certainly think a 24-hour library is something we should trial for at least 2 years. It is achievable. Currently, library opening hours running from 7 o'clock to 11 o'clock. The library takes an hour and a half to open up in the morning, and it takes an hour and a half to close at night. So in effect, the library is actually only unoccupied for 5 hours. I don't think it's achievable for a group to be open, for a whole group to be open for 24 hours. I think a 24-hour fishbowl space with an invigilator and with security on campus is certainly achievable. It won't happen today or tomorrow, and I know how I want to put it in place. So that involves meeting with the library users committee, meeting with buildings and estates, meeting with security. There's a lot of issues that have to be ironed out. It's not just about throwing more money in. You have to iron out issues with trade unions, you have to work out new rosters, you have to remember that security and library staff, they have kids to go to and families to go home to. They don't want to be sitting in an empty fishbowl at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. But look, it's viable, it's achievable, and I'm happy with it.
And George?
Yeah, before I move in, it's definitely it's definitely in need. I think anytime I've gone to the fishbowl, friends of mine, I think they said they want to get going at 2 o'clock, so actually it should, they have to go home and they have to study at home, which might not be exactly where they want to study. As well, for students that like to get up early or the gyms, it's great. You need to be in the library should assist students study. Yeah, I think it's possible. Joe Kennedy is massive work, but I think if he's elected, definitely it would be a great step forward towards it. And if I let you, definitely look to work with in aiming for that goal.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something achievable. That is achievable. I think that you need to put maybe a focus group on it so that it can be reported back to the students that this is where we are at the moment, getting 24-hour library hours, and this is where we want to be next month. It's something that we need to work on because at the heart of our university, the library is probably the key. The other thing I'd like to see as well, if we're talking about library hours and late opening hours, is that there's a lot of students that actually depend on software that is only available on computers on campus. Now, most of those buildings close at 9 o'clock. If you have a deadline in tomorrow morning at 9, you can't come in to use it. So we need to lobby not only the library for 24 hours, but maybe to let these buildings be open until 11 o'clock. We need to work on that. It's definitely something that's top. It's going to be top of my list next year.
Just picking up something there, I know you praised the education officer this year, Joe, with the work he did. But do you think it might place, I suppose, yourself in a disadvantage that he's running a ticket with Aiden this year?
Well, I suppose if people are voting for Joe for re-election, they might go with Aidan for the ticket. But I think the campaigns stronger than Joe. And we can definitely. I don't know about the working with Joe if elected, and I think that my campaign is strong enough to go through if the UCC students choose me.
Yeah, I have to agree with George. I think we're all, of course, running very, very strong campaigns, and I think, in fairness to Aidan, he's keeping it two distinct sections as well. But Aidan and Joe are keeping very distinct what they want to achieve. So I think it would never be an issue, for any candidate you be in, if for the wrong reasons, if you're spiting someone else, for getting in, for running with your opposition, opposition is around over there.
So I think I'm running this campaign believing that the best SU team next year will involve me as president and Joe as education officer. But if I am the president, I think Joe as education officer is the best.